Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Gershon here. This week's sort is a really cool sort. We're going to be sorting by sound. We're going to be sorting by sound for words that have the j sound at the end of the word. This is a huge lesson for you third graders because oftentimes in your own writing, we see this sort oftentimes confused. So this is really a sort that you're going to be able to bring right back into your writing because it has very specific rules for when you add DGE and GE onto the ends of words. So let's take a peek first at our words. We'll go through that and then I will talk to you about the rules. So you want to listen very carefully to this video. So our first word in our first column is edge, badge, range, cage, dodge, change, ledge, and hedge. Next column, age, stage, ridge, pledge, fudge, judge, sponge, and plunge. Then we have large, charge, rage, bulge, huge, bridge, dodge, and surge. Now, at the end of all of those words, you obviously are hearing that j sound. But again, we're going to talk about now the specific rules for DGE and putting GE on the end of a word to make the j sound. Now we're going to use our vowels this week to help us determine whether or not we put DGE or GE at the end of our word to make the j sound. So let's talk about DGE first. You're going to look at your words, and if your words have a short vowel sound, so they don't say their own name, they have a short vowel sound, and you hear the j at the end, that is when you add DGE. Okay, so let's take a look at our bold word. First of all, we have the word edge. Well, now I'm looking at my vowel, eh. That's obviously a short vowel sound because it's not saying E. So because the vowel in the word says a short sound, you're going to add DGE to get the j sound at the end. Let's look at this next word, badge. I see again. So I'm adding DGE to the end of that word to get the j sound because the vowel in that word is a short vowel. So you're going to have to be thinking about that, and that's a really specific indicator when you're doing your spelling test. If you hear the short vowel and you hear the j at the end, it has to be spelled with a DGE. Again, I'll go through this first column. Lodge. A lodge is like a place that you stay, or you have like the Great Escape Lodge. Lodge, when I say that O sound, ah, and I hear j at the end, it has to be DGE. Then I have ledge, short E, and then a j at the end, so that's a DGE. And then our last word, hedge, same. It's the same thing with hedge. You have the vowel sound It's not saying E, it's saying and the j sound at the end, so you're adding DGE. Now, GE has two patterns when you have the j sound. GE is when the vowel is saying its own name, when the vowel is long. So if you hear the vowel say its own name and you hear a j sound at the end, you're adding GE. Also, you'll see another column when the word has an R, an L, or an N before the j sound, you also add GE. So long vowels or words that have the R, L, or N before the j sound, you're adding GE. So again, very specific rules. So let's take a look first at just the long vowel sounds. Let's look at our bold word. It's the word in the middle and the second column at the top. You have the word age. Now when I say age, I hear A say its own name, and then I hear j, you're going to have GE because it's a long vowel sound. Let's look at the next word, stage. Again, I hear j at the end. I'm looking at my vowel. It's a long vowel sound. It says A, stage, so I'm having a GE. Okay, let's see if there's another one in here. No more in that column. I'm going to look at my first column, cage. I have a long vowel sound, A, and then I have a j sound at the end, so it would be a GE. Let's look at the RLN. adding GE. Right above cage, I have range. First of all, the vowel says its own name, A, range, and then I have an N. N's automatically add a GE when you hear a j sound at the end. Range. And then I have the same thing again, change. Long A sound plus an N, I have to add GE to make the j sound. So you have very, very specific rules this week. When you hear the j sound at the end, you know to add DGE when it's a short vowel. When you hear the j at the end, you know you add a GE if it's a long vowel and if it has an RL or N before the j sound. If you have any questions about any of the words, please raise your hand and I can come around and help you. It's time to grab your scissors. Happy sorting!